Lamar and Josh Allen. This game was crazy. At one point, the Ravens had like a 99% chance winning, and they ended up losing. The Miami Dolphins are possibly the worst team in the NFL, and I'm just waiting for Mike McDaniel to get fired. And the New York Giants, once again, could not score a touchdown in their opening game for, I think, the third year in a row. And then it was just nice to see Aaron Rodgers, the old guy, starting out his revenge tour, beating the New York Jets, and he had some words to say about that. Baker Mayfield, so many people giving up on him coming with a come-from-behind game-winning drive. And let's not forget, the Detroit Lions are no longer the Detroit Lions. Maybe we're overreacting here, but let's dive in to week 1 of the NFL. One team that I think that is for sure not going to be an overreaction is the Miami Dolphins. They're atrocious, but let's talk about them in a little bit. You guys want to start off with this iconic game. Bills and Ravens. Jiminy Christmas. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Like I said, I think at one point, let me try and pull this up. At one point, yep, here it is. The Ravens had a 99% chance of victory, 99.1% chance of victory because they were up by 2 scores with 3 minutes and 56 seconds left, and they let it go. Josh Allen went Superman on them. All right, let's talk about this one first. What's your takeaway?
I love these big-time matchups coming off of like last year's success. The 2 MVP candidates, Josh edging them out last year in Lamar Jackson and doing it once again in the game. I mean, all of this was just the perfect, I mean, I guess we got tonight's game, but it was the perfect way to end the first Sunday of NFL football. Like, you couldn't ask for a better game. This was playoff energy. This was everything you wanted, save for the snow in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are in a totally different stratosphere. And I would even say that with Patrick Mahomes being in the NFL, these guys are in a different world.
It's crazy. Like it's like even Mahomes, he picks it up kind of in the tail half of the season and then in the playoffs, and he's clutch there. But I feel like these 2 consistently are getting it done. And then we look at kind of like our other favorite top 4 quarterback, Joe Burrow. I mean, the Bengals struggled. I think he threw for like 130. You're Browns, Scott. Scott Brown.
This close.
You guys did a great job of doing what you do best and losing a game when you had a chance to win. We'll talk about it. Mikey, this graph looks like the day that XRP crashed. For the Ravens.
Don't you dare joke about XRP. It's coming back. It's on its way back. It is the future. And any of our listeners who listen are going to be very happy come next couple of years. So
not financial advice. That is not financial advice.
No. This is financial advice.
Well, you're going to jail. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, we're talking about the quarterbacks. All right, they were awesome. Derrick Henry was unbelievable. I'm just like, how does this guy? He's 31, and he seems like he's in his best physical shape of his life. And it's also like, you would think a big body running back like that would break down even quicker than kind of the smaller backs. This dude is like gaining athleticism, and he was just destroying the Bills secondary. This is obviously an exaggeration here, but like this first one, that stiff arm, I saw that exact stiff arm against the Bills secondary guy in the game. Okay, very, very impressive. What do you make of Derrick Henry?
I mean, he's a linebacker playing running back. With his performance and everything, it's so unfair to have a backfield like that. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Are you kidding me? Like, talk about like thunder and lightning back in the USC days with Reggie Bush.
Lendale White.
Thank you, Lendale White. And like this is a true thunder and lightning, but in the NFL. And it's so hard to see this coupling happen on a team. But the fact that they do this, the one drive that comes to mind was when they put up the 40 points there in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes left or so, 12 minutes left. Like, dude, those 2 runs were just the culmination of this being like, okay, we're literally living in a Madden game right now, watching this and everything that's happening. So Derrick Henry's a freak in nature. You just got to hope that you hang on to the ball.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you think he's feeling good after the game? Because he had this unbelievable game. I'm looking at the stats. 18 carries, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 9.4 yards per carry.
That's crazy.
That's so insane.
That's great. He kind of blew the game for his team with that fumble. So, like, if you do that, Mike, you're running back. How would you personally feel after the game if you had those crazy stats, highlight runs, breakaway, you did everything that a running back should do, but you had a fumble that kind of cost your team the game?
If you didn't have that kind of game and you fumbled, then I'd be, mortified. You're still mortified, but when you play like that, you kind of feel like, okay, we were in that position because I played this well a little bit. So it was kind of mine to lose in a way. You don't really think that, but that thought's in there. So it doesn't feel as bad. It still stings. And you still like, this week during Indy, I'm going to really work on my ball security, and that's not going to happen again. But when you play that well, it's kind of like, okay, it's not like I'm a net negative on the team.
Yeah. Still net positive there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you guys be without me? Anyway, let's go.
I can only speak to it from a quarterback's perspective. Like, you could put up 250, 350 and a couple touchdowns, and then that one interception, just that one interception is what seals the deal, because maybe your defense didn't play hard enough and stop the other team more frequently. But I guess the bigger question here is, like, Derrick Henry never fumbles the ball, right? So this was a black swan event, first game of the season, probably going to happen maybe one more time throughout the season. That's it. Like, he does not cough it up ever. But thinking about this and thinking about getting into the head of Derrick Henry, it's like, even at that point with the fumble, you're like, okay, we're definitely playing well enough on defense to get a stop. And everything that was happening seemed to be happening in favor of the Bills. Like, so at the end of the day, I guess the question is like, was this a lucky win for the Bills, or was it?
Dude, I don't think that you can attribute, like, obviously the momentum's shifted. Josh Allen threw 250 yards in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but think about all the tip balls and the touchdowns and everything like that. Like, and the fact that they just continued to whiff on 2-point conversions. Like, the fact that they were still in this game, like, what if not luck was on their side?
Well, dude, I don't know. Okay. I mean, maybe they make their own luck. All right. Okay. The Buffalo Bills, they're at home field. All right. There's some magic there. I know you saw
like angels in the outfield going on. That's what was happening.
Okay. It's the magic of the Buffalo home stadium. And Josh Allen, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of luck there. It's just like Josh Allen was just, because the Ravens roster it's better than the Bills roster. Josh Allen just willed his team back. And it's just unbelievably impressive. And it's just like, do you know what's crazy about Josh Allen is, like, the big criticism on him coming out of college, coming out of Wyoming, was he's so inaccurate. Like, he had all these physical tools, like he could be good, but he was really not accurate. And it's like, now he's so accurate. It's crazy the way he's zipping some of these balls in. It's just like, how do you do that as a quarterback? How do you do that?
Oh, I don't know. I never did it.
Is that a trait that scouts see in college and be like, oh, that, like, accuracy we can get dialed in. These other traits is what are what we're really looking for. It's kind of like, when employers hire based off of attitude over skill. Is that what are like those kind of traits for quarterback?
Yeah, it's a good.
You wouldn't think that accuracy is one of those traits where they look at it inaccurate, but I'm sure he'll get accurate later.
Yeah, it's like you can't get bigger or get really that much of a stronger arm. I don't know. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, you can increase all of those physical attributes and things to a certain degree, and some more than others. Like, strength, you could definitely increase depending on the frame that you have. Like, I'm never going to see Kevin Durant benching 315, let's be honest. But you could, if you're smaller stature and you have the build and the framework, you could build upon that. And, like, accuracy is one of those, it's honestly one of those intangible athletic talents that you kind of have or you don't. And you can increase it to a certain extent based off of reps and experience and everything like that. But it's almost one of those God-gifted things. Like, if you can just place it, it's the hand-eye coordination, depth perception, speed, being able to hit people on run. Like, it's kind of wild. It's like, even those, I mean, Luke will probably love this reference, but like great hunters, bow hunters and everything like that. Like, being able to calculate wind, snipers, American sniper. It's like all of these things. There are only certain people who can do it to a wildly high level because they just have that weird intangible talent. And the accuracy as a quarterback is definitely one of those things.
Yeah, but so then that speaks to we are witnessing essentially a miracle that Josh Allen was able to increase his accuracy. Some people like to credit what's his name, Brian Daboll, because wasn't he the OC in Buffalo for a while, and like him really getting Josh Allen right?
Well, I think look, accuracy at the quarterback position, and I've been harping on this before, but in the same way that, interceptions shouldn't be counted toward quarterbacks when receivers touch the ball. So the accuracy percentage is kind of, it is itself accurate to a certain degree, but not to a perfect degree, because it doesn't calculate dropped passes. It doesn't calculate missed opportunities by the receivers, right? So the quarterback could be putting the ball, especially in college. You think about Wyoming, probably not the best of wide receivers in the college ranks. So who is he throwing to? Who's he throwing with? They're looking at ball placement more so than accuracy there. And that's probably why they were like, whoa, potential super high, because the placement of the ball that he's putting it in while his receivers aren't getting there is insane.
Fair. Okay, so sticking with this accuracy thing, this brings us into our next game. So that game, Buffalo and Baltimore, awesome. And then we're going to see those two teams deep in the playoffs, obviously. The other game that was kind of an instant classic or an unexpected classic was the revenge tour game here of these two quarterbacks, the Steelers and the Jets, who just swapped quarterbacks, just did a quarterback swap. But I say the thing about accuracy because I heard that Justin Fields did not throw I can't remember what the exact term is, but like an inaccurate ball. Like all of his balls were within like the catcher radius. It's not like next gen stats thing, but like Justin Fields actually looked pretty damn good throwing the football. But not just him. Okay, the old guy also, Aaron Rodgers, and his revenge tour. And this touchdown right here in the fourth quarter here. This is pretty cool. So let's just get a little appreciation here. On the run, just still got it. Back foot, rolling out. He's got that 1960s helmet on.
Yeah.
So it's pretty damn awesome. What do you guys make of this one? Because I'll put up the quote or what Aaron Rodgers said after this game. But this was a classic. This was cool.
Yeah, in the same way that the Jets-Bills matchup happened in week one, I'm so glad that the NFL, look, they love to market their stuff. They're leaning into the story. They know what happened in the offseason. They know between Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Glenn, how that divorce in New York happened and all that kind of stuff. And then you have a storied program against a garbage but big fan base program in the Jets going up against the Steelers. So this was a perfect matchup just on paper. And then what ultimately ended up happening was far better than I think most people expected. Like you talk about Justin Fields playing out of his mind. First off, I think it was all the Deion Sanders, look good, play good sort of thing. He looked way better in a green jersey than he ever has in Chicago.
Dude,
or even the
he was looking like he looked at Ohio State. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
See, it's important. Swag is important, Nick. Okay.
No, that's
look
not.
at it's legitimate.
It's illegitimate. It's an illegitimate claim. You guys.
No, but what I love about this is that this was like the perfect battle between the olds versus the youths. And the olds win out and they find a way, even though they may not be able to do it as prettily or as explosively as everybody else. The olds found a way. And Aaron Rodgers, dude, he went deep into his bag to do those 4 touchdowns and play the way he did. Because the past 3 or 4 years, his openers have been horrible.
Duds. Dude, horrible. They've been stinkers. Like he came into this just locked in, ready to go. Let's see. All right. Well, speaking of olds, all right, just looking at the end of the game here, another old guy. Mikey, that's kind of me and Scott versus you. Old guys versus young. Okay. Who wins? The old guys. Another old guy.
I don't know about that.
Jalen Ramsey closing the game out right here. This was clutch. All right.
Oh, dude.
4th and 3. Steelers have just scored. Jets driving. They had the opportunity to go down there. Only losing by 2. They just needed a field goal. Here it is.
Fields on 4th down. Steps up. Fields delivers. Catch me. And the ball is short loose.
Nice. That's
Garrett
great.
Wilson could not secure it. And Jalen Ramsey has slammed the door shut.
Beautiful, but also we got to get Justin Fields. Good poise right there. Game on the line, like coming up in the pocket, finding the guy, placing it right on there, and then just Jalen Ramsey coming in and shutting it down. Very impressive. All right, let's look at this, though. I just find this to be so interesting. Aaron Rodgers he's not holding anything back.
Beating him, is there significance in that since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
Beating him?
I love
Aaron Rodgers.
I know. Because so many people in the league will be like, oh, no, there's no hard feelings. This is how it is in the league. And, sometimes things don't work out. Like, that's just your cookie cutter media answer. And Aaron Rodgers just gave us a completely real answer. But what do you think of this perspective? Because Aaron Rodgers is obviously salty. What do you think of this? Okay, this person quotes me to this and says, the guy wastes 2 years with the team, makes them sign all his friends, gets their coach and GM fired on his way out, and then acts like they've wronged him. I mean,
That's funny.
kind of, right?
Yeah. Gets all his friends on the team.
He does. He's like, I need
That's
Alan Lazard.
awesome.
I need. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just like,
so funny. Well, I think that he's allowed to do that and still be mad. I think he warrants that. Obviously not
Yeah.
from his play with the Jets, but just from his career overall. I think he warrants an attempt at that.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there we have it. That was a good one. I mean, actually, let me ask you, what do you take away from this? Are the Jets better than we thought? Is Aaron Glenn actually getting them right? Because they were picked, I think, by everyone to be last in the AFC East. Or are the Steelers like? Is this going to age as just like a great matchup between two very bad teams? Or do you think they're both going to be like, all right, kind of solid?
The Steelers are going to go 500 at worst, because we know if anything's going to predict the future, it's the past, and that's just what they've done. They don't do anything worse than 500. That's the way it is. So, I can't say that they're going to be terrible or anything like that, but what I can say is that the Jets are vastly improved. And I think it's strictly because of the culture that I think Aaron Glenn is bringing to the table. There's a very clear difference between the way in which they're fighting and playing and going at things than they were last year. And that's no knock on Saleh. That's no knock on I'm blanking on who the interim coach was. It's just the nature of the beast. Like, Aaron Glenn attacks it in a very specific way, and he is very loud about it. So I think at least in this week one, it looks like the Jets did take a step forward. Now, will that wear if they don't actually get W's? Probably. You can't be a hard ass if you're not winning, to a certain extent, especially in the NFL. Like, that wears thin. So we have yet to see. I do think that they put a much better product on the field during this game than anyone expected.
Absolutely, dude. You could see the cultural difference. You could feel it. Like Aaron Glenn, he's establishing something new there. All right. Well, speaking of Aaron Glenn, then obviously he left the Detroit Lions, as did Ben Johnson. And have you seen all the memes of Dan Campbell, if he never met Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, it's like him working at Walmart. It's just the Lions. All right. And granted, let's be real. The Packers are pretty good right now. The Packers kind of smacked the Lions. I mean, we're definitely in an era where the Lions are probably going to be taking a step back. Again, we're overreacting probably after week one, but it looked different, dude, especially offensively and defensively. And this right here, the Lions led the NFL in scoring last season, and they essentially scored 6 points this week. They ended up scoring 13, but it was in garbage time at the end there. So what do we think here? Are the Lions going to be miss the playoffs type team? Because what did they win last year? 15 games? In that division, who knows, man? We'll see tonight with the Bears and the Vikings playing. But what do you think about the new Lions?
It's definitely a step back based on what we were experiencing the past 2 seasons and how good they looked on offense, how efficient they were on offense. I don't think, I think it was good that we brought to light, hey, everybody keeps talking about the Lions or not talking about the fact that they lost 2 coordinators. This is going to be a problem. They're going to stumble throughout this year. But I do have to say, it's not as though Dan Campbell just came out of nowhere. The guy has coaching experience, and he was the interim head coach down in Miami for a while. Granted, it's not like they did very well, but at least he has the experience and the ability to build a culture, especially when it's been handed to him by the Ford family and everything like that. They realize what he has built to this point. So his leash is incredibly long to do what he needs to do to get the team right, the culture right, and everything like that, get it back on track. So it's going to be a step back this year, but I have the utmost, call it hope, that he can get it right in the same way that he did the initial time in getting the right guys into the system and coaching and getting everybody going in the same direction. So I don't see that in the same way that I was talking about Tomlin and, past success is probably the best indicator of future success just because of the way in which you approach things. I have a sense that Campbell will be able to get it right again.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, he's the one who appointed Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson in the first place. Like, he's gonna be able to find whoever he needs. I have a theory on what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna say it yet because first I want to show just this hilarious meme. Okay, I don't believe this, but this is just hilarious. All right. Okay. Dan Campbell, if not professional.
That's really, really funny. These are funny. I love these kind of things that come out so quickly, like so quick to completely throw somebody, chop somebody at the knees. But like, obviously, it's game one of the season, and with new coordinators, like you're not going to just plug and play and be at the standard you were. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. It's hard to extrapolate this data out to what the season's going to be. Like the jump between week 1 and week 2 is typically like the biggest jumps you make as a team because it's like the first time you actually see where you're at. So it's fun to make these predictions of like, okay, where's the whole season going? But it's like, all right, let's wait 2 or 3 weeks and then actually see who people are.
We should. For most teams, we should. I agree. For most teams, we should. So there we have it. And hey, the Packers, like, they're going to be pretty damn good. And for the first time in a long time, their defense is actually pretty damn good. Micah, I got to pull up a little bit of Micah because he only played, I think he played 30 snaps.
29, I think, total. 29,
30. He had 1 sack. I guess the place just went crazy when he had his sack.
Yeah.
I do want to try and find this clip, actually.
Dude, as you're looking for it, I mean, he had the 1 sack, and I think it was like six pressures on the quarterback too. So his effectiveness, his percentage right there, and being effective and putting pressure on the quarterback is off the charts. And obviously, he's playing with. You kind of have that energy, especially after everything that happened over the past 2 weeks, getting him into the building, and all the energy behind him. Like, he was playing with a heightened level of passion in this game, and he was going to get after it. And dude, clearly he did.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to find look at that, and I'm trying to find the close-up replay of this because it's gorgeous. It's beautiful of him like just working through those 2 offensive linemen and then just coming around the backside. And granted, Jared Goff's not the fastest runner, but chasing down Jared Goff. Jared Goff's probably
right there. Right when he escaped out of the it was a guard, I can't see right now, but like his leverage on the offensive lineman right there to get underneath and then get through that speed once he separated from the offensive lineman, dude, that looked, I thought I was like watching a sped up clip. Like that guy had insane closing speed and acceleration right there to get to Goff.
Dude, I'm trying to find it here and just give me. Oh, here it is. All right, yes. All right, here's the close up because this is where
it looked like he was injured. Like with that kind of movement, like dude,
he was only injured as a negotiation tactic. Okay, but look at it. This where you can
twist,
really
another twist. You go up under, and look at the effort, the speed, the closing ability, the bend. Micah Parsons, you're in Green Bay, and they are happy.
Number 1.
Nice call, Tony Romo. Micah Parsons, you're in Green Bay, and they're happy.
Well, Nick, based off of that call, how did your weekend go with the ELF? Did you have moments like that with the pauses? Did you go with the staccato again?
The staccato.
Staccatos, All right, good. Quick little NFL game break for some ELF action. Okay, we had the ELF championship weekend this weekend. We had the honor ceremony on the Saturday night, which I hosted, and then we had the championship game on Sunday. Honor ceremony, very, very cool. I hosted it. If you watch the stream of the broadcast, you watch me just get progressively sweatier and sweatier throughout the show. It was very, 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 very fun, very cool. Crazy thing happened. After the show, like a lot of the people were hanging out up on the stage and just kind of at the area, and it turned into like a social event after the actual program ended. And a couple of the award winners were up there and they had their trophies and their prize. Like they got this fancy watch as well. Everyone just mingling. And these 2 guys came up and just stole the trophies and stole the watches and left. And it was on security camera footage. And then so like the whole ELF community was trying to search for these guys the whole weekend. They ended up finding them, but it was just wild, dude. And it's like the 2 guys who, what's that, Mike?
There was like players or just fans that came up and stole him?
No, it was just these like random fans. I think they were just a couple of German guys. It was crazy, dude. And one of the players was so mad, like scary. Rightfully so. And then on Saturday, or that was Saturday night. And then Sunday, the Stuttgart Surge, our guys, my guys that we know, we play with, and Coach Jordan Newman. They played the Vienna Vikings, and they won 24-17. So it was really, really cool. It was like 37,000 people there, super emotional. And
Wow.
tell you what, I had a
That's
good time.
awesome. 37,000 people. That's huge. It's growing so fast.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool.
And how many rings does Jordan have at this point? I feel like he just keeps winning.
We won 3 German Bowls with him in the GFL, and then he left the GFL to go to the ELF 3 years ago. Made it to the championship his first year, lost in the semifinals last year, and then made it back this year and then won. So this is his 4th.
Wow.
Trying to go for 6, whatever Belichick has, but he's way less annoying than Bill Belichick.
Is that actually his goal? Is his goal actually 6?
I thought you were going to ask, is his goal to dominate Europe? Is that that's the Texan he is?
That is his goal. And he's well on his way to dominating Europe. Congrats, Coach Newman. And Mike, you would have laughed your ass off at how sweaty I was at the end of the show. In the middle of the show, the guy who was winning MVP, Reed Sinnett, the quarterback for the Madrid Bravos, he actually played with Tom Brady at Tampa Bay as his backup. It's really cool. This guy, middle of the show, he comes up to the stage, hands me a couple of napkins so I can dab my forehead and sweat. And then I gave him a shout out. I just said, Reed Sinnett, great guy. Gave me some sweat towels here. Obviously, I'm struggling.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Good times. Had a fun time. All right, so that's good. That's our little ELF game break. A lot of good stuff. Good football going on there. Can we talk about the worst team in the NFL? A team that I just despise culturally. It is. Well, this is also great because this dude's brother played in the ELF this year and also sucked. Tua Tagovailoa. He has a new nickname. Tua Turn the Ball Over.
It's a family name. I love strangers on the internet so much.
These graphics that people are doing, just a graphics, just sucks. Okay.
Breaking.
So the Dolphins breaking news. The Dolphins getting smacked by the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones. Actually pretty solid. What was the final score? Like 33-6 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brutal. Danny Dimes was out there. He's having his Sam Darnold resurgence year, I guess.
Yeah, he really is here. I love this graphic as well. Worst possible QB. It's just every aspect to it here.
That's great.
It's not Tua's fault. They have no offensive linemen. They have no run game, and their coach has the personality of a 15-year-old boy. Okay. Yeah. Can we talk about Mike McDaniel, please? I know I've just bashed on him before on this show, but what do you think? I mean, at this point, it's clear he's not the guy. Like, that culture is eroding. You see these guys like Tyreek Hill throwing fits on the sideline. Nothing's going on. He has the respect of none of the older players. What do you think?
This is the prime example of the same conversation we've talked about so many times in the past of your head coach being a culture guy versus an X's and O's like analytical guy. And this is what happens when you're a coordinator personality and approach and don't pay attention to the culture. This is what happens. You may get away with it for a little bit, but in terms of sustaining dynasty or program, it's just, I don't think it works.
Yeah. Okay. I got to come to the defense of the former Yaley. I get it. His approach is vastly different from a Dan Campbell's that we've been harping on. D'Amico Ryans down in Texas. A lot of the former players, it's different. Like he definitely has, as you say, a 15-year-old approach. He's definitely a player coach, a coordinator sort of, relationship with the guys. I do have to give him some sort of rope, though. It's not as though the Miami Dolphins are the most well-run organization in the world. You can get even the best of coaches into a bad organization, and it's still sour. It happens all the time. Bad organizations and bad ownership and bad front office does affect gameplay, and even the head coach only has so much of an ability to change those two other factors. So it's a triumvirate of things, and if you got one squeaky wheel and then another one that's starting to squeak, even the strongest.
Fair, okay, dude. Yes, that is a fair point, but I think a thing that's just completely in his control is like all these reports that we hear, and I said it before, is like. He can't get players to show up to meetings on time. I mean, you're not going to be able to put together stuff on the football field if you can't do something as simple as that. And that comes down to the head coach and the respect that players have for him. And I think that that's an excuse.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely improvement needed there for sure. But once cat's out of the bag, I think Mikey said this a couple episodes ago, it's like very, very difficult, if not impossible, to actually get that respect once it's already diminished. And I think one of the big things too, though, is to kind of cut against that. The caveat to, the type of individuals coming in who are not showing up to meetings on times. Clearly they didn't do their due diligence in the front office when they were selecting these people or bringing them into the organization, being like, okay, there may be some character issue here or flaws here. Like, we talked to this person, like they don't seem to be totally committed to the game of ball, like all this kind of thing. It's like, beware. Like, when you come to a city like Miami, there are a whole lot of things outside of football that are pulling you away. So I think they're just, especially that organization, they need to have the same approach of like a Tomlin or a Dan Campbell, whereas I don't think they have had that over the past few years, and especially during his tenure here. So that's why I'm saying, like, there's blame to be had for sure in the gameplay and what's happening right there, but there's also an element of responsibility that the front office should probably take on as well, or the organization, the owner too.
Fair. Yeah, that is fair. You're right there. So let's take a look at this here. Obviously, right now, I mean, overreaction after week 1, but Mike McDaniel is currently the favorite head coach to be the first fired this year. Okay. And so let's say that this does happen. Here's where my theory that I mentioned earlier comes into play. Okay. Mike McDaniel, awesome OC, I think. Awesome OC, and he's got a great personality for OC, right? Not having to be in charge of the entire culture. You can just be cool with your offensive guys, right? And then do your X's and O's and have all of your funny quirks, whatever. Hear me out. Detroit Lions take a bit of a step back. Dan Campbell has to fire his OC. Mike McDaniels gets fired in week 6 next year. Mike McDaniels, offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, to replace Ben Johnson. Get back into that role, the OC role, and then you have Dan Campbell culture, and he won't deal with that BS, okay? And then you've got Mike McDaniels, X's and O's and scheme. What do you think of that?
Incredible. I think that'd be incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love that potion. I think that's the perfect balance. Right?
Could it not happen mid-season though? Like, if both firings occur, can they not pick them up mid-season?
I mean, that'd be kind of. Have we ever seen that where like a head coach gets dropped and then gets picked up as a coordinator mid-season?
Maybe not a coordinator, but definitely like, he's on staff as an analyst or something like that.
True. Like, that could happen. I would, because wouldn't you want to? I mean, for all of the hate that I just threw at Mike McDaniel, he is a great offensive mind. He just can't run. He can't beat a head guy. And you would want to gobble him up quick. Like, grab him. He's on our staff. Yep, he's on our staff. He's on our payroll. And then next year, maybe he can become the OC. So that's, you heard it here first. That's my conspiracy corner.
I like it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we saw another head coach on that thing that was most likely to be. Oh, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties. Most likely to be fired. Brian Daboll. Okay, and the New York Giants started off pretty rough playing against the Commanders. Let's take a look here. I mean, what did we say? This was the 3rd year in a row where the New York Giants could not score a touchdown in their first game. This is another great. Giants fans watching Daniel Jones turn into Peyton Manning while Russell Wilson is playing like Daniel Jones. I will say, it's not all Russell Wilson's fault. Like, the offensive line was really bad. What do you make of the Giants, that Commanders-Giants game?
Oh, brutal. What did Russ go? He went like 17 for 39 or something like that.
Not good.
And I know we were just talking about accuracy and completion percentage, not all being on the quarterback, but at a certain point when it's below 50%, you got a problem. You got a big problem. And if you're throwing nearly 40 times a game, it's a massive, huge problem. Like, you can't get away from that. So I'm hoping that they get it right. I think what's most damning, and I don't know if this is the right move as a leader of as a head coach, leader of the team and everything like that, Daboll not committing to him in week 2. It's like, bro, I know you're on the hot seat, but that's already sowing seeds of contention in the locker room if you're not willing to back your guy, even if he didn't play well, because the rest of the offense did not play well. If you're going to say that, granted, I didn't hear him verbatim in what he said. I just read the quote. you better be talking about your entire team, that they're all on the chopping block, not just Russ, because the offense was abysmal.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't just point the finger and blame the quarterback. I mean, because like if you put Jackson Dart in there and don't have the protection, like the mid part of that offensive line was just atrocious. And it's like Jack throwing him in there in week 2. I mean, you don't want that for your backup quarterback that we've seen has a lot of potential and could be the franchise quarterback. You want to keep letting him sit a little bit. You don't want to shake his confidence, because if he has to come in and it's brutal and he's going 17 for 37 as a whatever, how old is he? 23 years old. Like that's kind of tough. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to overreact here. But I do wonder at what point, like what has to happen in the Giants season here, at what point it would be appropriate to go with Jackson Dart. Like, do you think you wait and not do that until it's clear, like, okay, the season's lost, we're not going to make the playoffs. Like then let's go with him.
I think you got to go with Jameis first. Like just for
but Jackson's listed as their 2.
I know. I know it's crazy for me to say this, but I worry for the guy because we've seen this happen so many times with young quarterbacks when they're just like a coach is reeling and they know that they're on the hot seat. The entire organization, the whole coaching staff knows that they're on the hot seat, and they're just, for all intents and purposes, throwing a Hail Mary to try and see if the guy that they drafted they have hopes for in the future can all of a sudden somehow develop 3 years in 3 weeks and somehow get them to the playoffs and do all this kind of stuff. It's like once in a blue moon. You got Jaden Daniels, you got CJ Stroud, who did it the past 2 years, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen this year, even though I think Jackson Dart is a guy who could potentially do that. I just think it's so premature, and I don't like it. It seems like New York organizations have a really bad habit of doing this because they have the pressure of the media, the pressure of the fandom, everything like that. It seems to be at a different level to where they can't hold their horses. They can't seem to just let it ride. It's gonna happen.
I will say, like, that's tough in those big markets. That's one thing that I will say I do respect about Jerry Jones is like he does not care what the media and what the fans are saying, and he has no pressure. He owns it. He is at no risk to be fired. He can do whatever he wants, and I do kind of respect. Look at this schedule. Like it's a pretty tough schedule for the Giants, man. Like when do you have relief? New Orleans. Okay.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
I mean, I will say,
whoa.
Because Dallas looked better than I thought they would, and they've got them next week.
Yeah, your relief. I think it comes in week 5, and then not again until week 10. But tonight will tell a lot based on how Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson perform. So
let's talk about that then, dude. Let's talk about Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears, and then JJ McCarthy, Vikings. Because it's kind of obviously Caleb Williams played last year, but he had a different offense, different OC. It's kind of a brand new situation there. JJ McCarthy is essentially a rookie. So it's kind of, let's erase last year with Caleb Williams. It's kind of a fresh start for both of these two guys. Let's call it a first start in the new situation for both of them. A lot of stuff, like I don't know if you saw this article about Ryan Poles, the GM of the Chicago Bears, and all this kind of drama surrounding him picking Caleb Williams. We don't really have to get into that right now. But what do you make of this game? What are you expecting?
I don't love dunking on quarterbacks all that much because having played at a much lower level, I definitely know the mental battle. And it's not just the mental battle of like, oh, what's attacking you from the outside. It's also the mental battle once you step foot on the field, and that's entirely cerebral, and then you have to physically perform. So it's like there's so many tiers to this. So I hate dunking on him, but it really comes down to, can Caleb contain himself? He has the natural ability, which makes sense, to get outside the pocket, to scramble, to try and make something happen. Can he tamper that or temper that to a certain degree so that he can let the offense breathe and grow over the course of the game? Like that's the biggest thing, is like, can he remain settled in the pocket through the first quarter and a half, and let the game come to him a little more than him trying to make something happen? I think that's the biggest indicator here, and that's what I'm most curious to see.
You know what I would say to Caleb Williams? I'm sure that Ben Johnson is like communicating this. Be like the same thing I would have said to like Arch Manning. It's just like you don't need to don't be a hero. Like let's go out and run the offense, get the ball to your playmakers. Because there is so much drama and conversation surrounding this Caleb Williams, and incredible talent. Like, and you probably feel pressure to show that talent off and make some miraculous plays. But like, Look at Mahomes. You know what Mahomes is so good at is just taking the check down so often, just little dink and dunk. And yeah, 2 or 3 times a game, he'll do something insane, but it's like he's not trying to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what I would probably say to Caleb Williams. What about JJ McCarthy? Like seeing what Kevin O'Connell was able to do with Sam Darnold last year, revitalize his career. He's obviously like a quarterback whisperer himself. What do you think? JJ is, I think, the literal youngest quarterback. I think he's 22 in the NFL. Caleb's 23, so this is a battle of young guys. Well, do you even know what you're expecting with JJ McCarthy? I don't think we even have any idea.
No, because I think you mentioned it last episode. Is that JJ? Do we even know what he's going to be? I was, as I just said, defending a quarterback who hasn't stepped foot on the field. Like he wasn't all that much of a thrower in college. So the big question mark is like, okay, how is he going to translate into the NFL game? So, I think he's probably in one of the top 3, 4, maybe 5 organizations for a developmental environment with O'Connell at the helm and being a whisperer, as you were saying right there. So hopefully he's made incredible strides that we just don't know about. All the news that we've been hearing, even before his injury last year, has been incredibly positive, which kind of makes you wonder, like maybe it's like, hey, let's keep his confidence at a sky high level and just keep feeding all of these news stories out there that he's balling out and everything like that. So really it's just, I don't know if my pessimism is going to win out or my optimism for this guy is going to win out. It's really a grab bag here.
We will see tonight. I will say, smart of the NFL to have this Monday night game of these two teams be at the start of the season, because there's a lot of anticipation because we're so curious about these two new guys. There's a world where week 8, this was the Monday night football game. And like we've seen, all right, these are not working out. And that would just be a dud of a game. But right now it's very exciting. I am so excited to see how this plays out. So just great scheduling by the NFL. All right, let's
good job, Roger. Good job. Yeah.
Thanks, Raj. All right. I do want to talk real quickly about the 49ers getting that win on the road in Seattle. Christian back, looking good and healthy. George Kittle went down, hamstring injury after like first drive. I think he had 3-4 catches and a touchdown, like looking awesome. And then the 49ers just cursed. I hate that. George Kittle, with the hamstring injury. And then I think even Trent Williams was like injured a little bit. But let's look at this. Brock Purdy, his first game. Like this is why I was so curious about this, because this is his first game after the big contract, obviously. The game winner right here.
Going for the win. He swinged out into the end zone. Wasn't open. Purdy keeping it alive. Brock Purdy lofts one. It is Tonjes. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Wow. Going for the win.
And who out of that? Jake Tonjes is like the third string tight end.
Never heard of him.
And like, yeah. Neither of most 49ers fans. I will say, if you see the back end angle of this throw from Brock, it looked pretty reckless. It did not look. It was like, Brock, what are you doing? And then this tight end just made a miracle right here, obviously. Kind of bailed it out. What'd you make of Brock's performance? He did have 2 picks, but I thought it was pretty solid, actually.
Yeah, it's tough to go after a quarterback when they get the win. Like it at a certain point, it's kind of a wash when you get that win, and you put your team in a position to actually get it. So even if you're turning the ball over in that game specifically, now if it becomes a habit over the course of games, then that's a bigger problem. But so long as you corrected it and got the W, and you also threw the touchdown at the end to get the win, completely different game.
All right, Jake Tonjes, great Jake for the 49ers. Great Jake. The 49ers also have a horrible Jake that they have to get rid of. Their kicker, Jake Moody, who is the worst kicker in the NFL. He's 50% on his last 22 field goals. Like, what did he miss? He missed a 32-yarder, and then he got another one blocked, which I know is not necessarily his fault, but there's a lot of factors that come into a kick being blocked. Some of it can sometimes fall on the kicker. And this has kind of been the story with the 49ers, like special teams not really being great. And the 49ers have a great opportunity here. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. But you're going to need a kicker that can actually make field goals. I mean, I could probably go 50%. Okay, on these. Like, you got to get rid of it.
Seriously.
Well, you don't think I could?
I believe you could. If you trained every day during a fall camp from the point you are now for 30 days straight of a fall camp, you could absolutely go 50%. If that's all you're doing all day, every day,
Thank
kicking
you.
field goals, come on. What's the loyalty to Moody?
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
That's the question. It's because they drafted him like way too high. And so it's like the pride of being right because they drafted
This is
him
something
high. That's the
football
only
coaches
explanation.
really struggle with sunk costs. They really struggle with that.
When to cut ties.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got the yips right now. And I feel like this is one, maybe outside of quarterback, but even then it might not be to the same degree. Like this is the one position in football that I think you could get the yips and it's wildly difficult to come back from because there's nothing else you can do, right? Your only operational job is to kick the ball. And like if you can't do it and you can't direct energy the other way, oh my God.
I'll tell you what, man. Jake Moody is at least providing us some great memes. Here comes Jake Moody. Okay. There's Kyle Shanahan, obviously like super frustrated. I mean, you got to get rid of him.
Right now, the Niners are sitting there just like, the Bills got Prater. Like they could have gotten the guy that looks like he's 80 years old off the street to kick a game winner for you.
Didn't he like take a red-eye flight to get to Buffalo to play that game?
Looked
and then
like
kick
it.
The game winner?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's the kind. That's how you got to be
Prater
as a kicker. Oh, geez.
Look at this guy. Game winner. Game winner. Less than 100 hours with the team. Somebody said, looks like a crackhead that lives in a van down by the river. He doesn't look that bad.
You should have seen the initial angle. You should have seen the initial angle on the game film, like when they showed him first, when they're like, "Oh, Matt Prater just got here. He could come win the game for him," and it was just like, "Oh, who is that man? Bedhead everywhere, dude." Go down the Twitter, go down the Twitter feed and find those because it is talk about Moody funny. Like this, dude, that's worth it.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm going down Matt Prater on Twitter. I'm just seeing all the kicks. I don't know if I'm able to find it. It's just, I will say, one of the best things about NFL being back is the NFL memes are so funny. And now with AI, when everyone does this, is like they make a player be Shane Gillis. So it's like Cooper Kupp when he doesn't have Matthew Stafford, and it's Shane Gillis and the Cooper Kupp. One of the best use cases for AI. I think we should be. It's worth all the electricity. Very great. All right. So those are any other games you guys want to talk about? I do have a question. I want to know what your guys' biggest surprise was of week one, and who exceeded your expectations and who disappointed you. If you have any thoughts,
I would say. Answering that question, I would say, even though we were talking very positively about him, I'm going to say exceeded expectations is Baker Mayfield and the Bucs offense. And the way that they ended up winning that game in Atlanta, awesome. Shout out to Josh Grizzard, former teammate of mine, friend of mine. Like, dude, did a great job in his first NFL game as an OC, got the W, and Baker balled out, man. Like, we talked about him last episode where he's a sleeper pick, I think, for MVP. And the way that he finished last year, he's got the chip on his shoulder, dude. And I love to see this.
I could see a world where Baker goes MVP. Like, they're going to win that NFC South here. This is the game winner from Baker, and it's a dime.
Mayfield on first down, throws, end zone, touchdown.
Right.
Ibuka with his second of the game.
Oh, that's a Mecca Ibuka. Oh, I didn't realize that he got the game winner.
Yeah.
Rook out of Ohio State. Huge. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. But no, Baker didn't exceed my expectations, Scott, because I have sky high expectations for Baker because he's going to win MVP. Okay. You know who exceeded my expectations? Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. Okay. The new Peyton Manning, apparently.
Andrew Luck.
Okay. And the new Andrew Luck. Okay. What else did I say on there? Who surprised me? Kind of Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields surprised me. I mean, because he kind of looked like he deserves that 2-year, $40 million contract. I mean, I know a lot of people were like, why are you giving him that kind of money? I know it's not, Tua money. He doesn't deserve that Tua money. Only Tua deserves that. So I would say Justin Fields kind of exceeded my expectations and surprised me. And then, of course, I don't even know if I could say that that the Dolphins disappointed me because I have just such low expectations from. Maybe I would say the Lions in their first week disappointed me a little bit.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a
problem.
problem, but that was a massive problem, like sticking out like a sore thumb. I would say being a homer here, the Browns exceeded expectations, but ended up as expected, still losing. Maybe there's a thought of instituting cutting guys mid-game. Hey, you missed it. Sayonara. We'll find somebody else to kick at, as we were talking about Moody. Like, dude, can't get out of my own way.
You know who the Browns should sign, dude? Jake Moody. I think he would fit. I would think he would fit your culture.
Well, he'll
perfectly.
hit half of them.
Let's take a look. Let's just to end the show on a little heartbreak here. All right? Sorry, Scott. Close your ear.
For the lead.
36-yarder.
And it is
To win.
no good. He missed it wide to the right.
Zim.
A missed extra point, a missed field goal, and a missed opportunity for the Cleveland Browns.
Schmidt.
Wow. That's your guys' motto, isn't it? The missed opportunity.
Dude.
I'm a hater today. I'm being a hater.
I mean, you can't destroy Joe Flacco's return like that. He played very solidly.
He played really well, but better than Joe Burrow.
It's so frustrating. This is par for the course. So thank you, Browns, for starting off as expected.
There we go. Good. Perfect expectations. Perfectly balanced. All right. There we have it. Week 1 is in the books, and we've got some two young quarterbacks tonight. Bears and Vikings, and we'll see what this is a mystery box, and we're gonna see what it's all about. We'll talk about it on the next show. Thank you everybody for watching. See you on the next one.